Hello everyone, welcome back to All Old Rare Coins Discoveries. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the Lincoln cents, specifically the 1961 Liberty 1 cent. Whether you're a beginner collector or a seasoned numismatist, you'll want to stick around to find out what makes this coin so interesting and what to look for if you're lucky enough to come across one. Let's start with a little history. The Liberty 1 cent you see here is actually part of the Lincoln cent series, which has been in circulation since 1909. In 1961, the U.S. Mint produced over 3 billion Lincoln cents across three mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The coin we're looking at today is from that year, featuring the iconic design by Victor David Brenner. That means we have President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, which first appeared in 1959. On the obverse, you'll see Lincoln's profile with the word Liberty to his left and the date, 1961, to his right. If you look closely, you'll also notice the mint mark underneath the date. Coins from Philadelphia have no mint mark, while coins from Denver will show a D, and those from San Francisco, an S. The most common 1961 Lincoln cent is from the Philadelphia Mint, with over 750 million produced, while Denver minted over 1.7 billion coins, making the D mint mark coins more common. On the reverse, the Lincoln Memorial is depicted. This replaced the wheat ears design that was featured on the earlier Lincoln cents, prior to 1959. If you look very closely at the memorial, you can actually see a tiny image of Lincoln seated inside, which is an interesting detail many people miss. Now, let's talk about what makes the 1961 Lincoln cent potentially valuable. While the regular circulation coins aren't worth more than their face value unless they're in pristine condition, there are a few things you should watch out for as a collector. The first thing to look for is any kind of mint error. For example, some 1961 Lincoln cents have noticeable doubling on the obverse, also known as a double die obverse, particularly in the words Liberty and In God We Trust. These errors can significantly increase a coin's value depending on the severity and clarity of the doubling. Another variation to look out for is the proof coin. Proof coins are specially made by the U.S. Mint for collectors, and the 1961 proof Lincoln cent has a beautiful mirror-like finish. They're much more valuable than regular circulation coins. If you come across a proof 1961 cent, you're looking at something worth a lot more, especially if it's graded in top condition by a service like PCGS or NGC. Speaking of grading, condition is everything when it comes to coin collecting. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a flawless coin. A 1961 Lincoln cent in circulated condition is typically worth just a few cents, but in uncirculated, mint state condition, it could be worth anywhere from $1 to $10,000 depending on the grade. So, whether you're hunting for that rare error coin, a beautiful proof, or just a well-preserved mint state example, the 1961 Liberty 1 cent is definitely worth adding to your collection. It's not just a common penny, it can be a hidden gem if you know what to look for. Next, we're diving into another fascinating coin, the 1963 Liberty 1 cent, also known as the Lincoln cent. If you're into coin collecting or just curious about U.S. coins, stick around as we break down the history, value, and what makes this particular penny from 1963 worth keeping an eye out for. So first, a little background. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation since 1909, celebrating Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. By 1963, the design still featured Lincoln's profile on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. Fun fact: the reverse design with the Lincoln Memorial had been used since 1959, replacing the earlier wheat ears design. Let's take a closer look at the obverse of this 1963 penny. As always, you have President Abraham Lincoln's bust facing right. To his left, you'll see the word Liberty, and to his right is the date, 1963. If your coin is from the Philadelphia Mint, it won't have a mint mark under the date, but if it's from the Denver Mint, you'll notice a small D right under the year. In 1963, Philadelphia minted about 757 million coins, while Denver minted a whopping 1.7 billion. On the reverse, you've got the Lincoln Memorial, which is a well-known design by Frank Gasparo. And just like we saw in the 1961 penny, if you look really closely, you can see a tiny figure of Lincoln seated inside the memorial. Above the memorial, you'll see the phrase e pluribus unum, which means, out of many, one, and the denomination 1 cent below. So, what makes the 1963 Lincoln cent worth more than just a penny? Well, just like many other coins from this era, it's all about condition and errors. Coins that are in uncirculated, mint state condition can be worth several dollars to a collector. But even more interesting are the error coins, which can increase the value significantly. One of the most valuable errors to look for on the 1963 Lincoln cent is the double die obverse. This happens when the coin's die is misaligned or struck twice, causing some elements like Liberty or In God We Trust to appear doubled. If you have a coin like this, it could be worth a lot more than face value. Some of these coins in high grades can sell for hundreds of dollars. Another thing to watch out for are proof coins. These are specially minted for collectors with a higher level of detail and a mirror-like finish. The U.S. Mint produced around 3 million proof pennies in 1963, and if you come across one of these in perfect condition, it can be worth significantly more, especially if it's graded as a proof 69 or 70. Grading is incredibly important when it comes to valuing a coin. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect, flawless coin. If your 1963 penny is in circulated condition, it's probably only worth its face value. But in uncirculated or proof condition, it can range anywhere from a couple of dollars to hundreds, depending on its grade. If you're examining your 1963 Lincoln cent, make sure to look for other common errors, like off-center strikes, die cracks, or even repunched mint marks, which can also raise the value of your coin. So, is the 1963 Lincoln cent worth collecting? Absolutely. While it's a common coin, the potential for finding error coins, proof coins, or uncirculated examples makes it an exciting addition to any collection. Plus, it's part of the long-running Lincoln cent series, which is iconic in American coinage. Next, we're going to explore the 1978 Liberty 1 cent, also known as the Lincoln cent. While this penny may seem common, there's more to it than meets the eye. So stick around as we break down its history, key features, potential value, and those elusive mint errors that could turn your 1978 penny into a hidden treasure. The Lincoln cent has been a staple of U.S. currency since 1909, when it was first introduced to commemorate Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. In 1978, we were still rocking the same iconic design, Lincoln's profile on the obverse and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. The reverse design, which replaced the earlier wheat ears design, had been in use since 1959. Now, let's take a closer look at the obverse of the 1978 Lincoln cent. Here you've got President Lincoln's profile, facing right, with Liberty to his left and the date, 1978, to his right. Below the date, you'll find the mint mark. Coins minted in Philadelphia have no mint mark, while those from Denver have a small d, and if you're lucky enough to have a San Francisco coin, you'll see an S. In 1978, Philadelphia produced over 5 billion pennies, and Denver minted just under 4.3 billion, making these coins plentiful in circulation. On the reverse, we have the Lincoln Memorial, designed by Frank Gasparo. At the top, you'll see United States of America, with E pluribus unum underneath. The denomination, 1 cent, is located at the bottom. And here's a cool detail: if you look closely, you can see a tiny statue of Lincoln seated inside the memorial, just like the real-life monument in Washington, D.C. So what makes the 1978 Lincoln cent interesting for collectors? Well, most coins from this year won't be worth more than a penny unless they're in exceptional condition or they have some kind of mint error. Let's talk about a few things to look for when checking your 1978 penny. One of the most valuable things to watch for on your 1978 Lincoln cent is the famous double die error, where some design elements appear double due to a die misalignment. Look closely at Liberty or In God We Trust. If you see doubling, that could significantly boost the value of your coin. Other errors like off-center strikes, die cracks, and repunched mint marks can also add value. Another important factor is the coin's condition. A 1978 penny in circulated condition is generally worth just 1 cent. However, if you find one in uncirculated, mint state condition, its value can jump to several dollars. High-grade coins can be worth even more, especially if they've been professionally graded by services like PCGS or NGC. A 1978 penny graded mint state 65 or higher could be worth anywhere from $50,000 to $20,000 depending on the demand, and let's not forget about proof coins. In 1978, the U.S. Mint produced over 3 million proof pennies, which were specially made for collectors. These coins have a mirror-like finish and much sharper details than their circulation counterparts. If you come across a 1978 proof penny in excellent condition, it could be worth more than $50,000 to $10,000 or higher, depending on the grade. Grading plays a huge role in determining the value of your coin. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect, flawless coin. Even a small scratch can affect the grade, so it's important to handle your coins carefully if you think they might be valuable. A 1978 penny in mint condition could be worth a lot more than one that's been sitting in your pocket for decades. Now, Liberty Statue of Liberty 1982, we're diving into a particularly interesting year for the Lincoln cent, the 1982 Liberty 1 cent. It might look like just another penny, but this coin has a unique history that could make it more valuable than you think. Stick around as we break down the history, composition changes, key features, and valuable variations of the 1982 Lincoln cent. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation since 1909, but 1982 was a special year for this iconic coin. This was the year the U.S. Mint made a major change. They switched from the traditional 95% copper composition to a new copper-plated zinc composition. So, 1982 Lincoln cents can either be made of copper or zinc. And trust me, this change matters when it comes to value. So, how can you tell the difference between a copper 1982 penny and a zinc one? It's all about the weight. A copper penny weighs 3.11 grams, while a zinc penny weighs 2.5 grams. You can use a simple digital scale to weigh your coin and find out what it's made of. Copper pennies are more valuable due to the metal content alone, so weighing your 1982 pennies is key. Here's where it gets really interesting. In 1982, the U.S. Mint produced 6 different varieties of the Lincoln cent. They minted both copper and zinc pennies, and each composition came in 2 versions, large date and small date. So, in total, you have large date and small date copper pennies, and large date and small date zinc pennies. That gives us 6 different types to look out for in 1982. Let's take a closer look at how to identify the large date and small date varieties. On the large date version, the 2 in the date is more curved and thick, while on the small date, the 2 is thinner and more straight. This may seem like a tiny difference, but it's crucial for identifying which variety you have. Now that you know the varieties, let's talk about why this matters for collectors. Some of these 1982 pennies are worth more than others. For example, a 1982 small date copper penny is much harder to find than other varieties, and in high grades, it can be worth several $100s. That's why weighing your 1982 pennies and checking for the date variety is so important. Here's a quick breakdown of potential values. Most 1982 pennies in circulated condition are worth their face value, but if you find an uncirculated or mint state coin, its value can jump significantly. A high-grade 1982 small-date copper penny can sell for hundreds, while even a zinc penny in pristine condition might be worth a few dollars. And don't forget about proof coins from 1982, they have a mirror-like finish and can also be valuable. As always, don't forget to check for errors. Some 1982 pennies have known mint errors, like die cracks, off-center strikes, or even doubling, especially in the words "Liberty" or "In God We Trust." These errors can add a lot of value, so it's worth taking a closer look at your coins. So, is the 1982 Lincoln cent worth adding to your collection? Absolutely. With the composition changes, different varieties, and the potential for rare small-date copper pennies, this coin has plenty to offer collectors. Plus, checking your 1982 pennies can be a fun treasure hunt. You never know what you might find. Thanks for joining me on today's deep dive into the 1982 Lincoln cent. If you learned something new, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Coin Treasures, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any future videos. And let me know in the comments, have you found any 1982 pennies, and which varieties do you have commented?